Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
All right, yourself.
Okay, I'm hearing an extra finger pop. Who's doing that? I'm not popping my fingers. What am I hearing? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And yourself?
I'm well. I'm well. I'm eyes here.
There you go.
That's the good part. That's the good part. How was your week?
Hot.
Was it? We actually had a little cool down.
It
I felt
cooled down
like,
yesterday. That was the only day.
oh, yesterday was absolutely beautiful. I
It
felt like
was.
Jill Scott,
Mhm.
79 degrees, cumulus clouds, all of things. It was beautiful,
It
beautiful.
was.
I was like, wow, is this what we got going on? I love it. I love it. All right, all right. Let's see. Every time I miss a week, I feel like I'm starting over fresh and new. I don't understand. I'm looking at the stuff like, really? Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me get out of this together. Okay. As you see, it was very, very late when I sent this. You probably was still up.
I was.
Probably was scratching your head like, what in the world is she doing up? I had fell asleep. And then I was like, oh, wait, I gotta send a message. I gotta send the information. So that's why I was so late. But it's here. We got it. It's
There
here.
you go.
All right, all right. Well, welcome everybody to our Saturday morning tea. Here we brew up the hottest topics in healthcare. We discuss health information, news, education, how folks take naps, the wonderful weather. Hopefully, we get to hold on to it for just a little while longer. Certification tips and entrepreneurship, and really the revenue cycle at large. So, as you come in, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or like button. I'm Clarice Warner. I'm the girl with the pearls, the founder and senior education director of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, where coding education is key. And PRN is a healthcare compliance consultancy located in Cincinnati, Ohio. It specializes in revenue cycle and regulatory compliance and education. Now, let me ask you, do you know what it takes to be a certified marketable medical coder, especially in these streets today? Well, before I introduce my co host, let me share with you information on a free, yes, free 99 email course on the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Are you interested in medical coding, but not sure where to start and scared of wasting time and resources? Let me help you with the right steps to become a certified marketable medical coder. Learn more at bit.ly/5stepscoder. I'm still hearing it. I don't know what is the clack. It's the like like the is it the snare drum? Whatever the little pop. I'm hearing
Wow.
real loud in my ear. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know. Maybe it's this something telling me, girl, you need to get some music. Let the music in you. Let it in you. Okay. I always say it got to be in you. Let it come on in. All right. So if you're interested in getting more information about the 5 steps to become a certified marketable medical coder, check out the video description for the link. So joining me today is my partner in success, my co-host, Mr. Jesse, the registered trademark. Put some respect on his name, the coding nurse. Sir, introduce yourself and tell the folks all about you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse. I live in Philadelphia. I've been in healthcare for a very long time. I transitioned into HIM in 2014. During the pandemic, I created a company, the Coding Nurse LLC, where I help nurses and other people in healthcare with a clinical background transition into the wonderful world of HIM.
Mhm. And what a wonderful world it is. How's that going for you?
It's coming along.
I heard you. Did you get my comment, my text when I said, I what did I say to you?
We could hear you. That
Yeah, we
was
can hear you. Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. um, Asking those questions, putting folks on a hot seat. I was over here chuckling like a mug. Like, well, somebody had to say it, right?
You know what's important is it's not always what people say, but it's what they don't say.
Mm. Well, with that, I just already know that this meeting after the meeting is gonna be one for the races. Look at your face. You killing me. All right, all right. See, we've been doing this too long for me not to know.
Mhm.
Too long. All right. Okay. Well, before we jump in, let me remind you that you can join in and add to the conversation. So don't be shy. Your opinion matters here and is always welcome. So use the chat. If you have a question for us, please type Q first so that we know it is a question that we'll be looking for and we won't miss it. Okay. So, for those who are just joining us or watching the replay, today we are talking AI versus medical coders, your survival guide revealed. But first, let's get into a little church announcements, shall we? Shall we? Hey, hey, hey. Mm, 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 hey. All right, all right. So, let's see. My church announcement for today. Let me turn this down a little bit more. Okay. My church announcement for today is um, that the inpatient prospective payment system, or IPPS, final rule dropped on July 31st. And it was a little interesting. I still haven't, of course, gone through all of the things, but a couple things jumped out at me immediately. I was like, oh, things in the game is about to change. So the final rule updates Medicare payment policies and rates for inpatient and um, long-term care hospital uh, under their hospital inpatient prospective payment system and the long-term care hospital prospective payment system. Again, the one of the things, or a couple of things that jumped out at me, was the hospital inpatient quality reporting program, or the IQR. So CMS is finalizing the modification of 4 current measures. They're going to look at hospital 30-day all-cause risk standardized mortality rate, um, following acute ischemic stroke hospitalization with claims-based risk adjustment for stroke severity. And they're going to add the Medicare Advantage patients to the current cohort of patients and shorten the performance period from 3 years to 2 years. I said, oh. CMS is also making technical updates to the risk adjustment methodology to use International Classification of Diseases ICD-10 codes instead of the hierarchical condition categories, or HCCs. I said, whoa, wait a minute. I still got to do some digging on that one. This was just a cursory pop out. Like, what? Also, CMS is finalizing the removal of 4 measures beginning with the uh, calendar year 2024 reporting period and the fiscal year 2026 payment determination. So they're looking at um, the hospital commitment to health equity, COVID-19 vaccination coverage among healthcare personnel, screening for social drivers of health, and screen positive rate for social drivers of health. Also, in the hospital readmissions reduction program, this program reduces payments to hospitals with excess readmissions. It also supports CMS's goal of improving healthcare for patients by linking payment to the quality of hospital care. In the final rule, CMS will modify the 6 readmission measures to add Medicare Advantage data in addition to the Medicare fee for service data. They're also going to remove the COVID-19 exclusions and risk adjustment covariance from the 6 readmission measures. And these changes will begin with the fiscal year 2027 program year. So those are a couple of things that I wanted to mention. That final rule dropped, and I got the big eye. So I still got to do some more uh, research on some of the things that the CMS fact sheet listed for us to know. Mr. Jesse, do you have any church announcements for us?
I just have a comment. I had a final interview on Thursday for an outpatient CDI position. So during the interview, they asked me a coding question, and they asked me they said the person has hypertension and chronic kidney disease stage 5. So they said what codes would you assign? So they asked really for the hypertension, but they said what code would you assign?
Mhm.
So my first question was, is a person on dialysis? Because at in 18.5 in the tabular, there's an excludes one. If they're on dialysis, you have to code end stage.
Mm.
So she said that no, the person's not on dialysis. So I said I-12.0 and N18.5. So she said that out of all the people that they interviewed at that round, I was only one of 2 who knew that. And she was saying that when you have a certain number of years of experience, especially in risk adjustment, she said that those kinds of codes should be easy. Like you really should know those. So I always tell my students that there are certain codes that you really have to remember. And those combinations, like especially the major combination cardiovascular and diabetic disease codes, you really have to know. And you should know. That's my church announcement.
Okay. Any others? You got something coming up?
Oh, I
We
have
doing?
a
Yeah. I
I
thought
have an
that was
IC.
leading into that. Like
See,
I thought it
I
was
have
leading.
an
You can bring him to the water, Lord.
I have an ICD-10 CM class starting Wednesday, August 13th. And if anybody is interested or knows anyone who's interested, have them visit thecodingnurse.com for more information.
Yes, yes. Bless your whole heart. All right. Oh, okay. Well, let the tea spilling begin. So, welcome back to the Saturday morning tea where we serve up the real talk our profession needs. Already out the gate. I'm Clarice Warner, the girl with the pearls, with my partner in success, the coding nurse. And I hope you got your favorite tea brewing or steeping or whatever you do with it, or whatever beverage of choice that you have this morning, because we're about to have the conversation that's been actually steeping in our profession or industry for some months now, several months now, probably about a year or so now.
Are we going to say
Today's,
good morning to the folks in the chat?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
Today's topic, today's topic, artificial intelligence and medical coding. Yeah, those things. Absolutely. Let's see. Um, who we got in here? NC worker. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. And our on the street correspondent, the crafty coder. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Wait, I can do this. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So before you get all worked up, take a deep breath, a sip of your beverage. Because what I'm about to share with you isn't doom and gloom. I try not to come with doom and gloom. You know me. I'm the eternal optimist. So I'm trying to give you some positive things to walk away with. Even though you may be hearing all kinds of things and panic and all of the things. But this is going to be your roadmap to not just surviving, but absolutely thriving in this new landscape. And you're probably saying, well, haven't we talked about this already? And did. But today we are going a little bit deeper and we're talking loud, real loud to the people in the back. So, after 25 plus years, every time I say that, I'll be like, Lord, okay. But after 25, I feel like it was just yesterday. After 25 plus years in this industry, I've seen technology shake things up before. So remember, when everything went from paper to electronic, that was a shakeup. Half the industry panicked then too. But here we are, stronger and more professional than ever, right? Right. This AI wave, well, it's just the next chapter in an evolution to our story. So let's start with the elephant in the room. Yes, AI is changing our profession. We all know that. We've all experienced that. It's changing all kinds of professions, it's changing everything. But here's what the headlines aren't telling you, it's not replacing medical coders, it's eliminating the mundane, repetitive tasks that, frankly, most of us didn't love anyway. So think about it. When was the last time you got excited about coding just a routine office visit or even a straightforward procedure like an appendectomy? Probably never. But that complex trauma case with multiple complications or that inpatient that was a doozy, the oncology patient with overlapping treatment modalities, all of those things, that's where you shine. And that's exactly where AI hits a wall. That A to the I. Absolutely. You know what? It could all be so simple if we just shifted our perspective. So, again, instead of seeing ourselves as coders who might get replaced, we need to see ourselves as coding experts who are about to become even more valuable. Mr. Jesse, you know to jump in at any time. You know the truth. Here's the truth, every healthcare facility implementing AI coding tools needs someone who understands both the technology and the clinical nuances. They need quality assurance experts. They need compliance officers. They need trainers. They need people who can catch what AI misses. Now, I want you to think about this. In your current role, what percentage of your time is spent on routine, straightforward coding versus complex problem solving? Hmm? Hmm? I feel like I need that doom, doom countdown thing. Now, if it's mostly routine, well, don't panic. That just means you have an opportunity to level up, level up, level up, level up. So let me paint you a picture of where AI struggles, and I'll call it the Goldilocks zone of coding. It's not too simple, it's not too complex, but just right for human expertise. So, peep this, a patient comes in with chest pain, but the documentation mentions a history of anxiety, some GI systems, and oh, by the way, they had COVID 3 months ago. And they're also being worked up for a possible autoimmune condition. Well, AI looks at chest pain and assigns a basic code. But you expert coder, you see the bigger picture, or you should be seeing the bigger picture. You know which codes capture the complexity, which modifiers may need to be applied, and what additional documentation might be needed. It could all be so simple if facilities just realize that AI plus human expertise equals coding excellence, and not AI replacing coding expertise. So here's where it gets a little exciting. Most successful coders that I'm seeing aren't fighting AI, they're becoming AI supervisors. They're the quality assurance experts who review AI output. They're the compliance officers who ensure AI coding meets regulatory standards. They're the trainers who help clinical staff provide better documentation for AI systems. They're the people who are telling you over and over and over again, get to know AI, jump in, don't be scared, play around with it. They're the people who are trying to warn you from the sidelines. Get on this train because the train has already left the gate and is moving, and you better jump on. They are the people. And I'm hearing it a lot lately from multiple sources. Get on the train. So let me ask you this. If your facility implemented AI coding tomorrow, would you rather be the person who's afraid of it or the person they turn to because you understand how to work with it? Which position gives you more job security and higher earning potential? Hmm. All right. Now let's talk about strategy with some real actionable steps. The coders who are thriving in this AI era have three things in common, and I'm going to give you the exact roadmap to get there. First, you don't need to become a computer programmer, but you need to speak basic AI. Start with understanding terms like machine learning, natural language processing, and algorithm accuracy. Again, it could all be so simple. Just spend 15 minutes a day for a couple of weeks learning these concepts, and you'll be ahead of 80% of your colleagues. For example, when your facility says their AI tool has 92% accuracy, you'll understand that means 8 out of every 100 codes need human review. That's where you come in as the expert. Second, get your hands dirty. Here's what successful coders are doing right now. They're volunteering for AI pilot programs. They're asking to be part of the quality assurance team reviewing AI output. They're requesting training on any AI tools their employer uses. Let me give you a real example from a CPC from Ohio who volunteered to be on her facility's AI implementation team. 6 months later, she was promoted to coding quality supervisor with a $15,000 raise because she became the go to person for AI oversight. The other folks didn't quite know what it was that she knew and why she was trying to know it. They were like, oh, she just taking on more responsibility. She's doing a little more work. Well, she was positioning herself um, for this position as well as the coins that came with it. Third, develop your specialty expertise. Focus on the areas where AI struggle. Again, complex surgical procedures, rare conditions, modifier applications that require clinical judgment. Take that oncology certification you've been thinking about. Master trauma coding. Become the expert in areas where context and experience matter more than pattern recognition. Fourth, build your analysis skills. Mr. Jesse has told us this over and over again about data analytics. Start learning to read AI performance reports, understand accuracy metrics, error patterns, and compliance indicators. Most facilities using AI need someone who can interpret these reports and make recommendations, and that person could be you. Also, become the bridge. Position yourself as the translator between technology and clinical teams. Learn how to train physicians on documentation that helps AI perform better and understand what makes AI fail so you can educate your clinical staff. Here's a practical example. So, say you have a doctor who keeps writing chest discomfort in his notes, and AI keeps missing the cardiac workup codes. You become the person who teaches him that chest pain with cardiac evaluation gives AI and your human coders better context for accurate coding. Mr. Jesse, you want to jump in?
Mm, no,
Okay.
I'll jump in.
He's like, no. You know what's beautiful about this evolution? Again, it can all be so simple to increase your productivity and job satisfaction at the same time. Imagine AI handling all those routine E&M codes while you focus on the complex cases that actually challenge you intellectually, all while enjoying your afternoon tea break, knowing that you're working smarter, not harder. I'm seeing coders who've embraced this hybrid model, increasing their coding accuracy, reducing their stress levels, and frankly, loving their jobs more than they have in years. Now, if you are new to coding, listen up. The old advice of start with basic coding and work your way up doesn't quite apply anymore. And here's your new game plan. Start with AI literacy from day one. Be the person trying understanding what everybody else may be missing. Download the AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude and practice asking coding questions. Get comfortable with how AI thinks about medical terminology. Seek out facilities that are already using AI tools for your first position. You want to learn alongside the technology, not catch up to it later. Focus on specialty knowledge immediately. Instead of spending 2 years on basic coding, spend 6 months learning AI tools and 6 months developing expertise in a specialty area like cardiology or orthopedics. Here's a real success story. Malcolm, who was a recent coding graduate, specifically sought out a position at a facility using 3M's Code Assist. Within 8 months, he became their AI quality specialist because he understood both the technology piece of the world and the coding better than anyone else on the team. Also, here's the opportunity that most people are missing. Every healthcare facility in America is going to implement some form of AI coding in the next 5 years. Period. They all need experts who understand both coding and AI implementation. Even some of these vendors who are putting together these packages, who are shopping this information, also need folks with this skill. Let me give you some specific examples of what this could potentially look like. So, the AI implementation consultant, Jackie, has a CCS with 10 years experience, and she could become her hospital system's AI implementation lead. She could travel between facilities helping with rollouts, which could potentially increase her salary by 40%. The quality assurance director, Mark, transitioned from senior coder to AI quality director, where he develops protocols for reviewing AI output and training staff on exception handling. The compliance expert, Larissa, combines her coding expertise with AI knowledge to ensure their AI tools meet regulatory requirements. She's now the go to person for any audit or compliance question. Again, this could be your chance to become the go to person in your organization. The coding expert who speaks AI, the person they call when they need to train staff, audit results, or ensure compliance.
Now I have a question because I was waiting until you got to the new coder part because for like if we're honest, like we know the skill level that these new coders have. So I am curious if these programs are going to step up their coding education to make people ready for higher level if they're going to be very few or no entry level positions and you require advanced coding skills. How are new graduates supposed to get advanced coding skills in this new model?
So I know with the new KHIM for KHIM accredited organizations, I know with the new KHIM model, um, that has been added to their competencies. And so coming out, they have to be able to um, show that they are proficient in these more challenging coding scenarios, as well as there is a whole AI component um, or technology component um, as well. So that those two things were added to a couple of other things that they have, like make it some that involve some of the soft skills that we all talk about as well. So those things are added for the KHIM accredited organizations.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. I put this up here, but I didn't read it. The Crafty Coder says, I've done 2 Upwork projects training AI to assist in provider documentation and coding. All right. All right. Look at you already out there doing the thing. Hey, I'm going to butcher your name, so I'm just going to say, hey. I already know. My eyes started blinking real hard when I tried to look at it. So here's how to position yourself. Um, Again, volunteer for AI pilot programs, request cross training and quality assurance, and take continuing education courses on healthcare informatics. Also, join AI implementation committees and learn to read and interpret AI accuracy reports. Some of these things, though, however, you can do on your own. You don't necessarily need um, if you're in school, your educational institution and or your employer, because these are skills that whether you with your employer or somebody else, you gonna take with you. So some of these things you can actually do on your own. All right, let's see. This is where we're gonna kind of do a deep dive, and this is where we get a little interactive. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to really think about your answers. And if I go too quickly over these questions, you can always go back and hit rewind or move that little button back so you can rehear the question. So the first question is, if you are currently in a routine coding position, what's your realistic timeline for developing specialized skills? Are you waiting for someone else to train you, or are you taking charge? And what's really holding you back? You don't have to answer today, but you can think about that. Answer to yourself. Make sure you know where you are, and be transparent with yourself. Question number 2: how might your daily work change if you viewed AI as your coding assistant rather than your replacement? What's high value? What high value tasks could you focus on if AI handled the routine stuff? Question number 3: looking at your experience and interests, what could become your AI proof specialty? Complex surgical coding, compliance and auditing, training and education? Again, trust your instincts here and be honest and truthful with yourself. Question number 4: if investing 6 months in AI skills and quality assurance training could secure your career for the next decade, what would you be willing to rearrange in your life to make that happen? Again, you have to make the commitment and be consistent with the commitment. Absolutely. She says AI is definitely my assistant. I pay her $20 a month for her assistance. Absolutely. And where who you gonna pay for $20 a month? For real, for real. All right. Um let's see. I asked that one already. Question number 5: are you positioning yourself to lead in the future of medical coding, or are you hoping things will just stay the same? What needs to shift in your mindset? Think about those things. So those are the questions that I really wanted to ask you. And remember, change is never easy. We all know that. But we also know that we are in a profession where change is constant. Things are always changing. But again, here's what I know after 25 or more years in this industry. The professionals who embrace change don't just survive, they become the leaders who shape the future. So, again, AI isn't here to replace you, it's here to elevate you from a data entry type role to a strategic, analytic, expert role if you let it. It could all be so simple if we just stop resisting and start preparing. I always say roll with or get rolled over, right? Right. All right. Here are some actual specific call to action tools for you to think about. So, for this week, I want you to do five specific things. First, research one AI coding tool that's being used in healthcare right now. Look up 3M Code Assist, look out up Optum CAC or TrueCode. Spend 30 minutes understanding what it does and what it doesn't do. Second, practice with a general AI tool like ChatGPT or Claude. You know, I love me some Claude. I like ChatGPT now because she does some things he can't do. Putting them together does a lot. Ask it coding questions and see how it responds. Again, this will help you understand AI's strengths and their limitations. Third, identify one area of coding expertise you want to develop. And maybe it's orthopedic surgery, maybe it's compliance auditing, maybe it's clinical documentation improvement. Pick one and take the first step. Sign up for a course, join a professional group, or find a mentor. Fourth, start a conversation with your supervisor about AI implementation at your facility. Don't ask, are we getting AI? Ask, how can I help prepare our team for AI implementation? Again, position yourself as someone who wants to be part of the solution. And fifth, join a professional community focused on the future of coding. Connect with other coders who are embracing this change and learn from their experiences and share your own journey. Remember, the future belongs to those who prepare for it. And you're not just preparing, you're positioning yourself to lead. Mr. Jesse?
I mean, I totally agree. Because first of all, it's not that AI is, excuse me, not
Mhm,
that AI is coming, it's here, and it's been here for a while.
mhm,
My only thing is like like I have been reading some things, and it's like it's amazing how people in HIM consider coding like an administrative task or like data entry. And that is so far from the truth, and it minimizes what coders have to learn because it is so interesting how medical coding can be seen as trivialized, but nobody has ever said that computer coders are data entry people. Like it's just they're seen in a whole different light, but they do the exact same thing that medical coding does because the computer coders in companies drive revenue and help them maximize revenue, just like medical coders do, because you cannot get a penny without medical coding. And how it is framed is just it's I'm just surprised, and it's even I'm not even talking about outside the industry. I'm talking about in the industry, how they minimize coding, and coding is not easy. I mean, as somebody who knows SQL and Python and medical coding, SQL and Python are a whole lot easier to do than medical coding because they don't change. Those statements are those statements. The syntax is the syntax. But in medical coding, one word can change how everything is coded. And it's just I don't think there's enough respect for coding in with from people in HIM. And I don't know how you get to because I don't know how you get to become good at advanced coding when you can't master basic coding. And we have people who cannot master basic coding. And there needs to be some kind of go between or some kind of way to level up these people because I know like for Inpatient is AI is all through inpatient, all through.
Mhm.
And it doesn't, and it's not, um, I don't think that I guess for some people, because it all comes down to, in my opinion, I think that some people don't like coding, and if you don't like coding, then you should find something else to do, because that's the core of the revenue cycle. It really is, and I think that a lot of people try to get away from it, but me personally, I've always enjoyed it and
Mhm.
still do.
Mhm.
And but I think that when it comes to AI, and because I'm going to talk about inpatient, because outpatient, I've experienced the outpatient too, and it's easier in outpatient because outpatient is not as complex. So I saw the benefits in outpatient, but in inpatient, I'm not really sold on the on the benefits, because it hasn't gotten to where I guess it will go, because everything gets better. Everything gets better over time. But if you don't know coding, sometimes those AI codes are wrong. But if you don't know, how you going to are you going to just rely that this is what it said, or are you going to? But you have to have the knowledge to know that this code is not right. And I'm just one. That's my whole question is, how is that knowledge gap going to be bridged to get to the point where people know that AI is a tool and not the end all be all, because it's not always right. And there are some procedures that is just like when you said specialties, there are some complicated cardiac, even some complicated GI cases that it doesn't even code it at all, because it just can't.
It has no, yeah, it has no
Right.
framework for that. I don't know. You
So
said something that was, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, you said something that was real interesting about the view of medical coding and the comparison with computer coders. And I think even though we hear a lot about medical coding as it relates to um, its role in the revenue cycle, because it does play a big role, and money is king, and everybody talks about the coins in the bag and all of the things. But medical coding is so far beyond that. I mean, it's more than that. It always has been more than that. Um, and I don't think that the focus on the other arms of medical coding is discussed either. Um, medical coders are the ones that drive the data, not only the information for reimbursement, but just the data period of what is happening in healthcare. Um, what is happening with these diseases, what is happening with uh, technology as it relates to medical technology, as it relates to the different types of procedures, the changes in uh, how providers uh, treat patients, the protocols, the all of those things. And so all of that information is all based on the coded data from the documentation. So while revenue cycle medical coding is what's usually touted and talked about the most, it's deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. And I think if that part or that piece is incorporated, um, it may or may not provide. Well, I don't know about now because we way down. The train is gone, but it could have helped with elevating the whole profession. It's not just something that is part of the revenue cycle. It there's pieces there, but it also is part of so many other things. And I think that is one of the other things that is missing in a lot of the conversations when people just talk about medical coding. And I'm like you, if you don't like it, why are you here? And Oh, I just want to work from home. Foolish is foolishness. There are plenty of things that you can do that you might even like that you can do from home. Don't play over here in this box. We good.
Exactly.
We good.
Because it medical coding is complex. It always has been. And I just it's just amazing how, people can try to, trivialize it. And I understand for efficiency, if AI could get to the point where they could do like a first level pass, fine. And then, you go to the next level. But I just think that there's it's almost like with AI, it's becoming dismissive.
Mm,
And that's the feeling that I get, and that's what I just don't understand how you could ever become that cavalier about something as important as medical coding, especially when it ties directly to reimbursement.
mhm. I agree. I agree. What the crafty coder said, mindset is everything, but it's hard to change for a lot of people. I just want to remind everyone change is inevitable in the revenue cycle. Yeah. In our profession, period. Yeah. You see, we get new rules every year. We get new guidelines every year. We get new codes every year. Codes go away every year. I mean, everything. It's a constant, constant. And I say it every year. Sometimes it's a couple times a year. It's twice a year. So it's a constant, and you have to be able to ride that wave. Mm-mm-mm.
And I mean, I still, and and I totally agree with you when you're saying, and that's the thing that I think that a lot of people need to know what options are available, because the revenue cycle is colossal.
Mhm.
It's humongous. And there is room for everybody. You just have to really find your niche and just go for it. And I just think that the one thing that I can see is, especially when you have younger people coming into HIM, like they're not afraid of AI. Like they've grown up with it basically. So it's not like the boogeyman, whereas older people who, you know, are still bitter about ICD-10.
And they still having them conversations.
Yes, like
Mad.
them, right? Them
Where
not
those
so
come from?
much. Exactly. Because I just remember in nursing when we moved to computer-based documentation and less paper. I mean, nurses were mad, like the older ones. Like, what? I mean, why? That's the thing. Why? Just go. I mean, and if you don't know how to type, then that could be something you could work on. It's something that the facility could help. Like, you gotta help people get where you want them to be.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because was when it comes particularly with AI and the revenue cycle, it's not going anywhere.
Mm-mm.
Anywhere. Now, what I do want to see is, since they want to call themselves streamlining coding and basically eliminating, first level coding, what's going to happen with all these outsourced jobs? Because them folks can't master the basics, so I can't imagine them doing anything higher. I can't.
I don't know. Let's think somebody gonna be over there training the folks to get them to where they need to be. Um, I don't know. I don't know.
I
I mean, they
I
certifying them. They certifying them left and right on
I,
both
I
sides of the aisle. They certifying them.
and look, and they certifying people here who can't who have a coding credential and can't name not one combination code and can't spout not one guideline.
Hmm. Yeah. But you mentioned the conversations about folks uh feeling a type of way when the change from ICD-9 went to ICD-10. Well, imagine the conversations we be having over here in behavioral health about the DSM ICD-10. Oh my God. I'll be like, I get this. I get this is your Bible. I understand. It's all well and good, but they're not gonna pay you on those DSMs. Sorry. Sorry. Get a crosswalk, learn something. Sorry. But it says that this is no, 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 no. So those be different types of conversations you got to have with these behavioral health professionals. It's hilarious. Hilarious.
Because I actually think that's what, when it comes to AI, like the people who really, who I think really, I would love to know what kind of training or what kind of conversations these administrators are having with providers when it comes to AI, because they need help too.
Mm,
And it's just interesting because I'm like, listen, they have trouble answering a basic query. So how you when you go factor in something like machine learning and prompting them, and then some of the prompts that they ask them, because what they do is when anything that is annoying to them, they're gonna let you know. They're gonna let you, your grandmother, and the little pet Fido know. Because where I was working in 3M, they had some kind of AI that would come up with these suspected conditions, and like they would even, because depending on how much you pay Solventum, they can even come up with queries.
mm,
Well, I think they piloted it where I was. It
mm.
lasted, as the old folks used to say, as long as Pat stayed in the army, because they were not having it. They were annoyed with all these queries, and they weren't, and queries that weren't based on anything. Like I'm like, I don't know where they got that from. Like, no. So I just want to know. I would love to know what conversations what they have with providers concerning AI, because it's very different, and they're almost as bad as the people who are still hot about ICD-9.
Right. But also keep in mind that all of this is driven by that documentation. And so if anybody should be the first folks in line to have these conversations, it should be them.
You would think.
Off the rip.
You would
Off the
think.
rip. Off the
But they
rip.
s- but they still think, look, even when it comes to Medicare Advantage, look, they still think that they should be able to say somebody got cancer, but they ain't had treatment in 5 years.
Oh
Okay.
Lord. Oh Lord. I know. It's crazy. It is crazy.
Oh, we have a question.
Good morning.
Yep. I code inpatient. I'm new to it. If I have a particular specialty, I'm coding, for example, OB. Is there a guide for procedures for this specialty that I may be missing? In particular, like OB, there is a section in the appendix. I don't know if you have an ICD-10 PCS book, but if you have a PCS code book, there is, um, I think it's Appendix B, where they have the root operations, and they have the root operations for med surge. They have it for obstetrics. So you would want to probably just familiarize yourself with the root operations for obstetrics.
Mhm.
Because even like AAPC has an OBGYN coding credential, but that wouldn't work for inpatient because that's only for outpatients. It doesn't involve PCS. So
Yeah.
an appendix. There's an obstetrics section in the appendix for root operations in the PCS book.
I said, okay, thanks. That will help me out a
Okay.
lot.
All right.
Look at you
Good luck
helping
to
the
you.
people. Yes, yes. All right, all right. Well, we are almost at the top of the hour. And let me ask, uh, Let's see if today's conversation resonated with you. I want to hear from you, or we want to hear from you. Send us an email or connect with us on or LinkedIn, or better yet, join our professional reimbursement network community where we're having these conversations every Saturday. Every Saturday. Again, let's build our community and join our community at the Professional Reimbursement Network, where we provide ongoing education, compliance updates, and practical strategies for navigating this complex environment. And remember, you don't have to figure this all out alone. Let's see, let me add my little slide. There we go. So if you're thirsty for fresh perspectives on healthcare revenue cycle, well, by becoming one of the PRN sippers, you'll join a community of sharp minds who savor the complexities of the healthcare revenue cycle. So why sip alone when you can steep in knowledge, when we can steep in knowledge together? Come, let's spill the tea on industry insights. You're welcome, Joanna. um, Here's what you can expect as a valued member of the Tea Sippers. Exclusive healthcare insights. So gain access to in-depth articles, webinars, and resources covering the latest healthcare trends, compliance updates, and revenue cycle best practices. Early access. Be the first to receive expert insights and guides, ensuring you stay ahead in the ever-evolving healthcare industry. Personalized support. Enjoy direct access to our team of experts for guidance on medical coding, compliance issues, and revenue cycle management. We're here to answer your questions and support your professional growth. And my personal favorite, the community connection. Join a private community of healthcare professionals where you can network, share experiences, and collaborate on finding solutions to common challenges. So, by supporting us, you're not only advancing your healthcare knowledge and career, but also contributing to the success of the Professional Reimbursement Network, LLC, a resource that empowers healthcare professionals like you to thrive in their roles, goals, and dreams. So, thank you for considering becoming a member of the PRNT Sippers. For the cost of 2 cups of regular tea per month, you can join the community. It's even less than your personal assistant, ChatGPT. Check out the link in the description of the video or go to bit.ly/the PRN Tea Sippers for more information. Your support means the world to us, and we look forward to helping you excel in the world of health information and healthcare revenue cycle. For our Saturday morning tea family, thank you for spending your Saturday morning with us. I know that your time is precious, and I don't take it lightly when you choose to spend it here. At the Saturday Morning Tea, we're all about building a community of savvy, informed, marketable healthcare professionals. So, again, like, share, subscribe, and comment, and let's grow this community together. Mr. Jesse, do you have any closing thoughts?
I have actually a closing comment. I wanted to ask you, did you see the email from AHIMA? Because apparently, well, I think we have talked about them changing the cancer tumor registrar credential. They
Hmm.
have apparently revamped it, and it's some kind of oncology data specialist.
Hmm.
And it's they have a so anyway, um, the email from AHIMA, they actually have um a program to help
Hmm.
you with become certified as a oncology data specialist. And
Hmm.
when I looked at it, and I think it even comes with a little externship or something.
Hmm.
I was like,
Is it through
wow.
AHIMA or is it connected with the organization that
I think,
is the
well,
trauma registry
the
or
coursework, yeah, the
oncology
coursework,
specialist?
AHIMA has their own coursework,
Okay.
but they connect you because because to look at when you as I went to the organization's website, this is
Hmm.
like a couple months ago.
Hmm.
Um, if you don't have experience, or you don't have enough experience, you have to do some kind of like online practicum or something through them in
Hmm.
order to be
Hmm.
eligible for the certification.
Hmm.
But I thought that was really good,
Hmm.
because that could also be a pathway into data analytics. because I looked at the courses now. I mean, because this from the beginning, like they cover anatomy, medical terminology. So the only thing I would want to know is like, I mean, I'm not that interested, but I would just want to know if you already are certified or if you already have clinical knowledge. Do you have are all those courses required by a HEMA? That's what
Mhm.
I would. That's my only question.
Mm.
But it's interesting. So did you get the
Isn't it?
email?
I haven't looked at it. I probably did, but I
Okay.
haven't looked at it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I knew about the changes in the title and the changes in the governing board, the other organization who does the actual certification. So it's interesting that Ahima is jumping on that bandwagon as well. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Oh, let me take this down. That's interesting.
Oh,
Also, so hi Roxanne. She said I've been following you guys and the information that Clarice I am interested in becoming. And Jesse, give it, I want to say probably give is amazing.
mhm.
Knowledgeable coder. I have already taken an online course and almost passed. Almost meaning that you're almost done and passed, or we have some
Yeah.
problems and did I'm gonna go with the first part.
Yes.
All right, Roxanne. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Well, keep in mind, it could all be so simple when you focus on what truly matters. So keep coding with confidence, keep learning with purpose, and remember, you're not just a coder, you're a healthcare professional whose expertise is more valuable than ever. Tune in next week as we will be discussing another hot healthcare informational topic, and you won't want to miss it. So see you PRNT sippers in a little bit at 10:15 Eastern Standard Time, where we will have our meeting after the meeting. This is Clarice Warner, your girl with the pearls, reminding you that in healthcare, knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. And also remember, be safe, be kind, and don't wish for it, work for it. Until next time, take care. Have a good weekend.
Bye bye.
Bye.